truth? Are you not mesmerized? Are chills not going up and down your skinny little spine?
What do you do all day? Not a goddamn thing. When was the last thing you did anything over there at that studio? Never.
Specifically,
you never do a goddamn thing but sit around and bitch about women's genitalia. You guys are disgusting and need to get off the radio. Jake, you're fired.
Welcome to the Jake Pentland Show. I'm flanked as always by my co-host Jen. Are you there?
I am here, anxiously awaiting you.
What was that?
Anxiously awaiting you.
God, that sounds awesome. So we got a weird thing. I think Jeff's currently drunk on the tractor. For those of you who don't know, Mike and Jeff give me their Saturday show. So they're basically the network. I'm just one of their awesome TV shows on it, to use that analogy. And he's drunk on a tractor. I got a Facebook page. He's got like a Pabst Blue Ribbon. And I don't know where Mike is, so it's really just you and I, Jen. We've been dumped this Saturday.
You've been
dumped.
Look,
it's looping again. You hear it?
I hear it.
What the?
Holy shit.
So weird. Oh, anyway, so this is a great start. So we don't have anyone screening the phone call. So call in. We're just going to put you live on air because I have the power to put you on. I just have no idea who you are or what you're calling about. And I have no idea how to stop this. So this is just awesome. It's just awesome. I mean, let's just take a moment here. Eli's here. He can help screen. Let's just take a moment to enjoy this awesome software that Blog Talk Radio provides for you. This is incredible. Eli, are you there?
Hey, Coach. How's it going?
Hey, nice of you to show up.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm in a mini panic because I don't have Mike or Jeff. Oh, I think Mike just showed up. But I can't stop the intro from playing. It just keeps playing.
Oh, on repeat?
Yeah. Is it done now?
Well, it'll start again. It's fading out.
I think it's done now. This is the worst radio show in history. So how's everybody doing?
All right.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. It's all about Easter.
Let's stop this train wreck. What are you doing with your kids today?
Does he have kids?
No, you dumbass.
Well, we've already been to church, and we did an Easter egg hunt at church because I'm a godly woman.
Very nice. I
can tell. Yeah, we just spent the whole last few days, like Good Friday, we did the same thing. Went out and dyed eggs, did all the good old shit you do. I made matzo ball soup last night and have ham for Sunday.
Very multicultural, and your kids are half Chinese, so you got everything covered.
Yeah. Except they don't like Chinese food.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, one of them, and he'll the older one, and he'll say things. It's hilarious. He'll say, "I'm not into the Chinese."
Well,
great.
All right. Here we go. We're going to try and save this disaster. So I'm just gonna go for it now. I don't know, but Eli, do you have the software up?
I can't log in because I forgot the username and password.
Oh, my gosh.
This is great. This is so great.
And
okay.
Eli can't do the chat room either, right?
No, can't do the chat room.
No.
I was going to have him screen, but he can't get in. So this is great. Okay. This is the single worst opening to any radio show, not only that I've done, but maybe in the history of podcasting.
Well, let me do this. Why don't I get off the air right now, and I'll go back to my files and log in, because I know I have the password somewhere, and then I'll come back. How about that?
No, it's fine. We'll do it. We'll wing it. It's going to be a simple show today. I mean, this is a good segue into the show, so let's just go with it, because, normally, as you guys know, I get impassioned about something because I'm a child of a baby boomer, and I see things a little wacky, and we talk about it during the week. We do our research. We take a stance, and I think it's a pretty good radio show. It's still early. We're not there yet, but for the most part, this show, I think, is thought-provoking. But it also gets very serious. We've done a show on abortion. We've done a show on obesity. We've done a show on alcoholism, on abuse. You name it. It's kind of depressing. Usually, you guys don't know this. I'll call Jenn and Eli after the shows on Saturday, and I usually need to go take a hot shower and cry like in Leaving Las Vegas.
Big baby.
Yeah.
A rape shower.
Really, Jenn knows. It's so funny when Jenn first came on. She's like, "Oh, he seems like a nice guy," and then I would call her after the shows. And Eli, she saw the other side. She knows the amount of neurosis that I bring to the table. So
I thought I needed to call an intervention, like he was going to kill himself after every show, but I get it now.
That's what this show honestly does. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's nerves, of course, but really, I really do care about a lot of things, and it does get kind of frustrating, and it's also just exhausting. So, anyway, what's leading us to this week is I know the subject is something that makes a lot of people nervous because it is gender-related today. We are talking about the differences between men and women, and we all know that I have a sort of sordid history on this subject. And even talking to my wife about the show yesterday, she was warning me and going over pointers of how to come across because apparently I come across a little angry. So here's the deal. We're going to try and just do – what's that?
Does she listen to your show, or she means in your life?
Just in general, when I'm, like, yelling at her to make me a sandwich. How our normal marriage is. No, we, again, I bring this history up a lot, but I've been, I used to do the show for my mother, and we did a feminist debate. That's where I met Jenn, who was on the other side of the debate. I've been kicked off, blah, blah, blah. So this is a subject that makes a lot of people testy, but I swear to God, somehow we're going to do it today, despite all the technical difficulties we've been having.
I'm logged on, by the way.
Okay, sweet. Do you know how to screen?
You click on the chat thing and type something in, and
No. On the left, you see where it looks like a thought bubble?
Yeah, you click on that.
It'll take you off air, and then see the number at the bottom? Click on that. Click on his thought bubble, and you can talk to him. I think it's Mike, but we got to make sure. So you can do that now. All right, thanks. Yeah, there you go. Good thought bubbling. Okay, despite the technical difficulties, we are going to do a show that will be lighthearted. It's mostly just going to be me and Jenn and Eli. We're all three married. We're not going to get into the feminist debate. We're not going to talk about anything. You don't need to be scared. We do encourage callers. But we're just going to talk about the differences between men and women in the context of relationships. When I talked to Jenn earlier in the week, we were, we were talking. We just felt like we needed a lighthearted show. So I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. This is such a train wreck. So,
it's a very lighthearted show.
It is. So there's no prep. But anyway, we just decided, we're both married. We were talking about it. And, Jenn's a woman, I think, for the most part.
100%. I have an embryo inside of my body. Actually, it's a fetus now.
Sweet. So you're not like a Chaz. You're an actual woman.
I'm an actual woman, yes.
Okay. So we're just going to talk about it. It's, I had this whole thing prepped. I was going to meet with my producer earlier in the week. My mom kicked me out of the studio. So yada, yada. Long story short, let's get this thing going. We're just going to talk. So I got to tell you a little story, Jenn. Earlier in the week, my little sister-in-law, her name is Becca. I love her to death. She's 18 now. She's got her first, serious boyfriend. She's always kind of been shy, and she's been popular in school, but she wasn't popular with the boys. She's a big girl. And she finally got this boyfriend. They've been together, I think, 9 months. And they're already, 11 months, thanks, babe. They're pretty much married. When you look at them, they're full in. This isn't like when we were all in our first relationships. It was still kind of awkward. But
they met. Serious shit for me at 18. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that noise?
What's that?
You put them on the air, Eli. Now they're off the air. I wish there was a time machine. I wish I could go back and start this over. Okay.
What the fuck?
What is going on? Who is this?
Guess who, bitches? You all are a fucking mess.
Is that Jeff?
Oh, jeez. Where the hell is Jeff when you need him?
I'm trying to enjoy sitting on the porch. I'm like, I better call and check on these fools.
Yeah,
Eli don't know the login shit. Y'all don't know nothing.
Shit-housed. You're getting all drunk and ditching me. I had no one to scream.
Honey, it's Easter. I'm getting ready for Jesus.
All right, well, we're fine now. We don't need you, Jeffrey. We're fine.
Hey,
I'd love you to stick around.
Jeffrey,
Eli's here. He's here. We're going to save the camera. Hold on. What's that?
I want to help him. Tell him to meet me in the screening room.
Okay. Eli, go talk to Jeff in the screening room, please.
Okay. Sure.
That's the thought bubble.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah.
What is Eli on, a speakerphone?
I don't know. Can we just cancel this and just go to bed? Is it too late?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
I already have to pee, shit.
My sister-in-law, let's try it. This is good, man. Everyone in a long radio career, this has to happen at some point. Luckily, we don't have any listeners, so there's no pressure. But anyway, they met at Catholic school, so they're both virgins. But they're like, this is their first relationship. And long story short, she called me last week. They've been together 11 months. She called in this fit, Jen. Like, she couldn't get a word out. It was just like this. And we're like, what's going on? We tried to calm her down. Well, anyway, she broke up with her boyfriend. This is her first love. And I love this guy. His name's Kevin. He's my FIFA partner in video games, so we're cool. And she was pretty shaken up, but it was done. So we kind of calmed her down, and we started talking to her. And what became really kind of apparent, and even though it was a really kind of a high-stress moment, part of me was kind of laughing on the inside because everything she was complaining about in this relationship, everything that led her to the point of wanting to break up with this Kevin guy, were pretty much everything I think every man in a relationship has ever heard, and everything that every woman that's ever been in a relationship has ever been frustrated about. And this was her first relationship. She's 18, like I said, so she thought it was different. She was complaining about how he doesn't listen, how he has poor hygiene, and how he doesn't challenge her and doesn't want to get better, and he'd just rather sit on the couch. And it's like, it sounds like every married couple we know.
I was going to say, let her know it's not going to change, sweetheart.
Well, see, that's why I wanted to do this show because, you know, I sort of calmed her down by saying, look, you know, this is normal. This is not pretty. This is what we all go through. When you enter a relationship with another person, especially another gender, you know, I don't know how it is for the gays. I'm sure it's got its own unique set of qualities. We're not going to talk about that today because we want to stay on topic. But, you know, for men and women in a relationship, it's hard. It's hard just to have another person in your life in general. But then you start sharing spaces, and sometimes you move in together or you get married or whatever. When you're in a serious relationship, it's hard. You're literally sort of integrating another person into your life. So there are concessions you have to make, quote unquote. So I'm calming her down, and in my mind I'm thinking, because I'm such a horrible narcissistic prick now, I'm thinking this can be so good for the radio. And she's crying and she's talking, and basically I ask her, and like 3 minutes in, it just comes to me, and I ask her, I said, what is it about you women? And I'm going to ask you this,
You women.
This is going to get us going. What is it about you women that when you look at your partner, your male partner, what is the need to look at us like a project? And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's this old joke I always loved. A man will look at an old car, like an old beat-up Mustang that's rusted out, and he'll look it up and down and go, you know, if I put some paint on that, if I put a new engine, you know, I could really suit this thing. I can make this beautiful car. That's how women look at us. They look at us when we're walking, and they go, man, if I can get him to lose a few pounds there and, you know, shave his unibrow,
not hang out with so-and-so and so-and-so anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys do that, right, Jen?
I have, for sure. I see potential when I looked at men. I would see their potential. They definitely weren't where I wanted them to be when I met them. But, I mean, when I met my husband, he's clean, you know, so I didn't have to deal with that until we moved in together. And, yeah, there's major issues with what you guys think is clean and what we think is clean, and it matters. It matters. We don't want to have sex with dirty dicks, to be blunt. You know, you guys need to be clean, and there's a lot more vulnerability on our side when it comes to especially sex. So you guys need to physically be clean, and that does take some teaching. Like, I still have to. I hope this doesn't ever come out. But I still have to tell him, like, hey, when you get your hair cut, make sure they trim those eyebrows too, okay?
Yeah, my wife will stare at my ear in the car.
Yeah.
And there's usually like one long black hair sticking out the side of it, and it makes her so mad. She'll say, why don't you trim that? I bought you tweezers, you have the nose trimmer, and I don't know what to say because it's not that I don't care about my hygiene. I have pretty good hygiene. Shut up, babe. Did you hear her laughing in the background?
Yeah.
I have better hygiene than Kevin, who the real reason my little sister-in-law, Becca, dumped Kevin. I don't care. I shouldn't tell, but I'm going to go for it. He got E. coli because he won't say why. He eats his fingernails a lot, and somehow he transferred E. coli into his mouth by eating his fingernails, and I'm assuming his fingers were initially in his buttocks area, and because that's how you transfer E. coli.
Or in her sister's.
Yeah, but Becca didn't have it. So, you know, she's going off. It's like, yeah, we're going to do this show today about why you guys see us as projects. But I do want to say for the record, my little sister-in-law has a great argument because the guy's hygiene is so bad that he literally has, like, borderline fatal diseases from eating his own butt.
How could he ever join the family and not have the name Poopy Fingers forever?
Well, that's what we call him now. Poopy Fingers. I'm going to give out his Facebook page for everybody listening. We're calling him Poopy Fingers now. But anyway, long story short, so Becca's crying, and she's like, he doesn't listen. But then she also said, which was amazingly insightful for a young girl, she said, I have so much resentment that he doesn't listen, that he doesn't want to improve, that I've become mean, and I've become a nag. And I don't like the way in which I see myself behaving. And that's part of the reason she wanted to break up, because she didn't like how ugly she was. So on the flip side, where we always hear as men that we're projects and you guys view us as projects, I think you guys, this is a man speaking to a woman, I think you guys get confused as to where the line is between being a helpful partner, because there are certain things women bring to the table. Like I always say, I think men and women are different but equal, and they both offer something the other person could learn from. So I think your instinct is good, and you want to help men to improve in certain areas, but you don't realize there's a fine line between doing that and becoming a fucking nag. And, like, when you watch Becca and her boyfriend Kevin, any of us watching, she is, like, the meanest woman. She's so mean to him. Like, don't do that. Like, she talks to him like a puppy. And I see a lot of relationships like that. Mine is kind of like that, too. I'm just kidding.
Well, if you don't learn, how else are we supposed to speak? I mean, you know, when you say so many different, how many times do you have to say get your fucking eyebrows trimmed when you go get your hair cut? Like, if you want us to want you, because I really think the only thing men want from us is sex and a committed, you know, not a whore, just a good sex partner for life that's going to take care of you, period. That's right.
I totally.
And if you want sex, then trim your fucking ear holes and nose holes and eyebrows. You know, like there's things that make us attracted to you, and it's not cavemen anymore. We're not attracted to hairy beasts.
Well, first of all, also for the record, not to go off too far on a tangent, but there are some disgusting women out there, for the record, and there are men that take better care and preen themselves better than a lot of women, too. Like,
well, they should. I think women
right.
should take care of them, especially down there. Jeez, I mean, like,
yeah,
we don't have to get into that. Like, but seriously, like, rinse. Come on.
Yeah. No, it's true. But again, so I'm talking to Becca while she's breaking up, and I start thinking, the first question I'll ask you again, why is there a need to look at your partner as a project, Jen? Why can't you just sort of accept Richie, or who, I guess we can say his name, too late now. Why can't you accept your husband for who and what he is? Because when I was telling Becca advice, I was calming it down.
You reflect on us.
What's that?
You reflect on us. That's my first instinct to say is, like, who I'm with kind of says who I am, too. Like, it shouldn't maybe, but when you're a partner for life, at least, the way we are, I mean, if he's dirty and gross, they're going to think I'm dirty and gross.
I mean, I get that it comes across kind of.
You also have to bring up potential. I think women look at men not as projects, but they take in the good and the bad. But the good outweighs the bad in some cases. That's why they take them on, and they try to have them reach their potential so that they look.
But it's such a. I mean, I think that's a good point, but it's such a weird thing because when she was bitching about her boyfriend to me, and I'm like, well, you know, you shouldn't let these things get to the point of resentment, and you should talk to him, and, you know, there's probably a nicer way in which you can tell him, all these kinds of advice. I was sitting there, and then she says to me, she's like, I'm also mad that he doesn't challenge me, which is another thing I always hear women say. It drives me crazy. Is I want a man who challenges me. So I'm hearing this, like, basic, here's a guy who I'm viewing as a project. He has to do a certain need of things that I need. He has to meet a certain amount of requirements. And, you know, and that's going to be understood. And at the same time, he's got to go out of his way to make me better. So, which is weird thinking, because as a man, and I felt for Kevin at this point, and I know this is true, I responded with, Kevin just loves you. He just loves you unconditionally. And he's in a relationship with you because he loves you. So he doesn't even think that way. And I know that because I'm a man, and I know us men don't. Like, we don't look at you guys as a project, or you need to do this better, or, you know, there's certain things you need to improve, and that we don't also think we need to challenge you. It's like we like you for who you are, and this is the main point I want to get at, and this is on topic. But I always hear, and why I always get in fights on Twitter on the show, is that women are such better species. I hear this overt sexism day in and day out. Even during the show and prep for the show, someone said that if more women were in Congress, there would be no bribes in Congress, which is a load of bullshit. Yeah, thank you.
Obama just said something about more women in Congress.
It was Obama that said it, and I responded with I responded to Obama directly. I said to Obama, I said,
like
I really did. I did on Twitter. I said, what we need people in Congress that aren't bought and sold by corporations. That's what we need. Gender is irrelevant. So once again, we go back to this weird sort of overt sexism that both sides do. And I've been noticing this weird change, and here's what's happened. Women have been held down. They feel this way. It's true and it's not. But for the most part, it's true. They feel down. They've been fighting for equality. You guys have it now, and you don't know to stop. And now it's become overt sexism on your side, and you guys have become exactly everything you hate and everything you talk about men.
And when you say you guys, you mean most women, because I don't.
I'm sorry. No, I mean the women that I fight with. Not all women. Most women are awesome. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, my wife told me to clarify that because that comes out wrong all the time. These certain women that I'm fighting with, and why some of these shows have gotten a little out of control before. They literally will say things like, if women were more women in Congress, there would be no crime. So, yeah, I know. It makes me so mad. So I just want to back up. That's why I get so angry with this stuff, because, I feel like I'm speaking to a wall when I sit here and say men and women are different, but equal, and they each offer different things. So here in the context of relationship, I'm seeing this, but I'm looking at it objectively, and I'm seeing my little sister-in-law as an example, as someone who's not accepting of her partner. And again, I've been told my whole life women are more accepting, they're more nurturing, they're more compassionate. But here she is, you watch her for 10 seconds, she's like, don't do that, and she talks to him like a dog. And meanwhile, he's like this loving guy that just loves her. He doesn't ask for more. So in those
Why does he stick up for himself?
I mean, he's kind of a wuss. He's been sheltered. I mean, it is what it is. He's a young kid, but that's how the boys are nowadays. If anyone knows my generation and down, we're all like that. We're all wussies. We don't want to stand up to our women. We're afraid. We've been told to be sensitive and caring and sweet. And
you're afraid you won't get sex.
I mean, that's a great point. But they're virgins. They're not having sex. So even when you take the sex out, I swear to God, she really is. She's been checked at the doctor. I know. We didn't believe it.
Okay, they're like, Hyman's still there. Hyman's gone anyway.
Yeah, it's all still there. It's still the saran wrap. It's still sealed. So even when you take sex out of the equation, Jen doesn't believe it. No, they really are. They're Catholic. You got to understand. They're Catholic. They go to Catholic.
Exactly. They're fucking.
So long story short, here you go. This is a microcosm. This relationship's a microcosm for the gender issues I always consistently bring up, which is men are different, women are different. We're beautiful in our own strengths and weaknesses. But in the context of a relationship, I find it weird that you guys basically, I'll just call it out, don't handle a relationship as maturely as we do. What do you think about that?
I think you guys just, like I said, you don't care. Seriously, I could wake up and look disgusting in the morning. I could not have showered anything. My husband would do anything to me sexually or whatever. He doesn't care. Right. So I think it still comes down to the fact that you guys are dirty. Well, and like I feel bad. I do feel bad. And Johnny said something, last night that males should treat females like their mom's sister's daughters. We've heard that. But then when he flipped it, which you don't hear it as much, is that females should then treat their spouses or partners like their brothers, dads, and sons, right?
Right.
And I swear, that's why Twitter is amazing, because it really can make you think without arguing really for a minute. You can think quietly. And I thought, wow, I don't talk to my husband the way I hope my son's wives talk to their husbands,
What do you mean?
So, I mean, I'm just more disrespectful to him. Like, I'm not, talking about his eyebrows, those kind of things. He is a clean person. He is a kind, loving, strong, all that. He's everything. So, I seem like I am the one that wears the pants, basically.
Right.
Even though he's a police officer, sergeant even, I'm still, like, kind of the one that makes the choices at the house. So,
yeah, my wife, too. I think that's how, I don't know if it's always been that way or if that's new because of, the modern society with the feminist movement or whatever it is. Like, I wonder if it's always been that way.
It's still not that way. I get, like, my friend.
I mean, in the household,
pictures.
like, I'm sorry, what?
No, go ahead. Well, my friend sent me pictures of her hair, and she's like, do you like it this way or that way? And one was shorter, one was longer. I said, I like the shorter. It's sassy, whatever. And she says, I sent it to Jason. Oops, I shouldn't say that out loud. And he likes it longer, so I can't cut it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't even ask my husband when I go to get my hair done. Like, how do you like it, babe? So there are still households where men rule, and she's a stay-at-home like me. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so kind of why I feel I should run the household is I am here, but I do have to go about it differently is all. I think I need to go about, I'm not mean to him,
No, but you're probably like most women that I know, trying not to generalize, but out of, the 100% that I've come in contact with, known, seen, read about, paid attention to, there's this sort of nagginess that women have now. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's always been there, but there is a nagginess. And I can always tell you, for instance, there's a marriage that I'm close to that I see a lot where they've basically given up. The two have given up. I'm not going to give names, but that doesn't stop the wife from constantly cutting him down, pointing out every mistake he does, saying he doesn't do enough here and there, and he's just quiet. So, in my experience, I guess what I'm trying to say is that even in a messed up relationship, it still seems like men just kind of have this thing where it's like, look, we're in this. This is what it is. I'm accepting of the reality of this situation, for better or for worse. I don't need to change this. When I met you, I fell in love with you. You were that woman. That's the woman I want to be with forever.
Well, I met mine when I was 23, and I've changed a lot since 23. I think I understand what your sister-in-law is saying. Is like, don't you want me to become more? Don't you want me to grow? And,
but
same with...
Why is that our responsibility? Like my wife a lot of times vents frustration that she's not doing enough on her own time, and that when I'm at work, on her days off, she has nothing to do, no friends, no hobbies, and I always say, then get friends and get a hobby. But it's like this in so many ways. Part of her, she won't admit it, but part of her is literally blaming it on me, which I see a lot.
So you need self-motivation, for sure. You need to say, I am self-motivated, but
why is it, and again, if my wife came to me and said, hey, I'm thinking about going to medical school, and she's very serious about it, and we have to pool finances to do it, we'll do it. Like, I want her to, whatever she wants to be, I will support her 100%, and most of the men I know will be that way. But it's not our responsibility to motivate you. It's not our responsibility to constantly get on your butt and motivate. And I do see a difference, honestly, in relationships between men and women where, in my opinion, the men literally are more accepting of their partner, for better or for worse. And that's why, I can speak for myself, why I never sit here and say, you need to do this more, or you need to do this better, because I think that's not the person I married. The person I married is this. I love this person. So why would I sit around here and say, take care of this, you should read some more books, you should learn Spanish? Like, that's not who I married. That's the person I'm with the rest of my life. Like you say, when you do your vows, for better or for worse. So there really is some sort of natural difference, and I don't think it's societal. I think it's like genetic memory. We're going back to like hunters and gatherers. I do think women feel like they're here on the earth to, in the context of relationship, to improve their man. I think they feel like that is their mission on this planet. In the context of relationship, again, I don't want to get all these women mad. I'm not saying you couldn't be more, but in the context of relationship, when a woman views a relationship, she looks at her husband or her boyfriend or whatever and thinks, I am here to make him better. I really believe that.
Mine isn't him better, so I don't know. Mine is my whole family. I want to be our best. Not perfect, not the best, just our best. My husband is a super overachiever. He does everything. He's not just a sergeant. He's a CPR instructor. He's the news correspondent. He can't just, so he's motivated. I have about him as a person. But so mine comes down to literally the physical parts, and that's where, like when you meet, I think grooming literally is all it was and all it still is. So, I don't think everyone sees him as a full project, but it depends. Like I had been through maybe 3 relationships before him and definitely learned from that you cannot change people. My first was the best, the 18-year-old relationship like your sister-in-law is in. There was so much I wanted out of him and thought I could get, and it was never going to happen. I literally was ready to marry this guy, and in the back of my head said, wow, this is going to end in divorce one day.
Right.
So I did learn that you can't change people. So when I found my husband, I was to a point where I was like, I'm not going to settle for someone that's a loser. So maybe I already, I don't know. But yeah, no, I still bug him. I still nag him. There's, I read something my little sister put on Facebook or whatever, but talking about we have a hard time, and like my husband will do dishes for me randomly, not regularly, just here and there as a treat. And I will go back to the dishes and tell him, I used to, I don't anymore.
Right.
And I would tell him, oh, you left this on this fork, and look at the water's everywhere, and instead of just being thankful that he did it, and
right.
I would literally interrupt him in the middle of the dishes and say, never mind, I'll do it.
Yeah, that's what my wife does. My wife does that, and she'll not only do that, but then right afterwards, after she'll literally push me out of the way and do it, she'll then call all of her girlfriends. She'll, anyone listening, even the cats, and explain that I never do anything. Like she'll leave the detail.
I say that about mine too. But.
Yeah, and that's another, like, that, you women really are crazy. And again, Jen, feel free to bash on the things we men do. I mean, that's the point of the show today. It's not one-sided. I've been.
Here's the point. When I go back to work full time, which I will one day, I will still be the person to do dishes and cleaning and all of that. So that's why I feel like when he does, he should help out more. All my friends' husbands, he gets mad because he'll say, oh, so you're saying so-and-so's better than me? Right. No, but, all my friends' husbands work full time. And I have one friend he does the dishes. She leaves her dishes all day long, and he does them when he comes home. And I think that's too much. I wouldn't do that to my husband.
Oh, my wife does that.
All day?
Yeah, I mean, I do the dishes. That's one of my chores.
Well, you know what? That's awesome, and you're such a pussy. But no.
But hold on. Here's the exception I'm trying to say. Even in a marriage, like anyone, Eli can speak on it. It's my best friend in the world. Anyone that'll view me and my wife's relationship objectively will tell you that they'll even go as far as say I'm a neat freak, or that I do more than my fair share, or that
works.
I'm a great. Yeah, but you got to understand, she's a flight attendant, so she doesn't work. I work every day 9 to 6, no matter what, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. I'm at work. That doesn't change. My wife can work 4 days on and be off for 6. It changes all the time. So every single month, she has at least 10 more days off than I do. So even though she works, it's a unique situation. On the whole, she is home more than I am. So this is why women are crazy. So she's home all day, right? But I have my chores. So I still, even then, when she's home all day, I still do the dishes. When she's out of town, I do the dishes. That's my chore. I have many chores. I used to clean the bathroom. That was one of my chores. But at the end of the day, like I said,
I would put out way more if that happened.
Well, my wife puts out. She's great there. But again, even in a relationship where I'm like the most, like you said, I'm a pussy. Yeah, I'm a huge pussy. Okay, I was raised by older Jewish women. I have 2 older sisters that I grew up with. Randy, was adopted, but 3 big, fat, loudmouth Jewish women around me my whole life. So I am henpecked like the perfect man, like what everyone wants. I do my fair share. Even in that situation, like I'm trying to say, my wife will still tell people that I don't do enough. And it's not that my wife is a bitch. That's how you women really, really are. And I said you women in generalities, because it really is across the board. It's never good enough.
And I don't really think you're a pussy. I do.
No, I'm a total pussy. That doesn't even hurt my feelings.
But doing dishes, no. I mean, like I said, if mine did that, I would be so. You don't even understand. He'd be such a happier man.
Right. And this is a great point, because my wife, I wasn't always perfect. I didn't always do a million things around the house and blah blah blah. And we've had many arguments that led to the point where I said, okay, I'll just take care of it. And it has gotten better since then. So the nagging on some level kind of did work. But what happened was my wife read this book by Steve Harvey. I don't know if anyone out there knows it. And he laid it out. It was awesome. And since she read the book, our marriage got a million times better. And basically the heart of it was men are here on the earth. They have a need to provide and protect their women. It's innate. Again, we're going back to the hunter-gatherer caveman days. So if a man feels like he's providing for his woman, he feels like he's protecting her, he will then be a lot more secure and loyal in the relationship. In the meantime, like you said, for women, they need to basically, what Steve Harvey calls, give up the cookie. They do need to put out, okay? So the thing is, a lot of women, when they don't feel like their husband or their man is providing, he doesn't work, or he's lazy, or he's not taking care of himself, it goes back to our animal nature. You guys basically will withhold sex.
Well, mine's a hard worker. He puts in probably 80 hours a week.
But you're still withholding sex.
I don't withhold. I have no desire at the end of my tiring day, because it's not like I'm sitting here painting my toenails. I mean, I'm giving all day long to 2 people we made, you know. So I am exhausted as well, and I think he works a little harder physically, maybe, but emotionally, I put out a lot more. I need to be filled back up, you know. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if he came home and always wanted to rub my feet, and it sounds like a pussy, you know, or an ass kisser, but really, I need to be filled back up. I've had people take from me that I love, my little boys, all day long, and I've given everything of me. My entire day is them. I have the time I probably talk to you and a couple friends is about all the time that I have, like, self-time. That's it. So I do need to be filled back up. So, and our jobs they're not comparable. You can't compare the 2 jobs. They're different. But I am also tired, you know. So when he comes home and he's lazy on the couch, I call it lazy, but, exhausted and just wants to do nothing. I mean, there's no sex that's going to happen that way.
Right. But even there, your husband's a police officer, so, you know, like you said, it's a real job. He's not out, like, door-to-door salesman or anything. Not that that is not a real job. Screw it. I mean, he's a real job, and his life is on the line. So when he's literally coming home at the end of the day, he's like, you caught yourself, because you said lazy and you caught that you said exhausted. But I hear a lot of women that stay home and take care of the kids, they say this, like, my day is so exhausting. Even my wife will say that. We don't even have kids. She'll be like, I was here, I was bored all day, I'm exhausted. So by the time I get home from work at 6 o'clock, and I get home after being at the studio for 10 hours, and I come home, she doesn't think, oh, he's also been busy all day like me. She thinks, oh, he's been doing nothing all day. Now I can get on him. Now I can tell him what he doesn't do and does do. And I see that a lot. Like, you caught yourself, but you did actually say when Richie gets home he's lazy.
It looks
totally
lazy.
Left
it looks
out.
lazy.
Yeah,
like
but
almost
just worked all day.
I know. He goes in he leaves our house before 7, and he's home at 8 or after p.m. So, yeah, it's over 12, 14. I don't know. It is
then you come home and you say, now you've got to rub my feet and do the dishes if you want sex. It's
to get laid, yep.
To get laid. So that's the thing. So there's this catch-22, and this is really what we're going to talk about today, the sex and marriage, because that's always the thing that dwindles. Women always say, he needs to do this, this, and this to get sex. And men will, and the flip side, the funniest part, will say, if I got sex more, I would do this, this, and this. And it gets gridlocked, and neither side will budge. So my wife read this book, literally, Steve Harvey's book, I recommend it, and it literally said, even if you're not in the mood, give your husband a cookie, whatever that is. Just give him a treat. And I swear to God, I used to maybe do a dish here and there. Since my wife started taking care of me, give me the cookie, so to speak, I do dishes every night. I clean the bathroom. I used to, when I clean the toilet, there might be, the ears behind the toilet I wouldn't scrub. I get bleach and scrub that now. I go like OCD level clean, but that's because, like you said, I'm taken care of. I feel like I'm providing, and my wife is happy, and she makes me happy, and we have a happy relationship because of it. So you need to put out. You need to give Richie some.
But he's working. He's not working and coming home and doing dishes.
No.
That's what I mean.
We'll see then.
Like, there's got to, because I am exhausted. I'm physically exhausted at the end of the day, and emotionally, and literally touched, like all day long. I have someone on my lap, someone on my hand, someone grabbing my belly or boob, and it's not him, and it's little kids. So I'm physically overtouched, and I'm done. So I need it's hard to turn from housewife to whore. Yeah. It's almost impossible for it to happen that fast. So I need a physical change. He needs to light a candle. He could put on a movie. There's a lot of things, and I've given every tip there is, so I think sometimes he's too exhausted to go to that level to get that.
That's the thing. Well, I want to continue, but I realized Kathy, I just got a note from Eli, is actually on hold.
Oh, yeah,
so I'm going to bring her on the air. Is that Kathy right there? Are you there, Kathy?
Hello?
Hey.
What's up?
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were on hold. Kathy is a loyal listener.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Jen.
How are you?
Good. This is what I want to say. This is what the problem is with guys.
Okay, let's go.
Most of my friends are guys, but this is the problem. You don't really pay attention. I don't think it's that you don't listen. You're not observant.
Thank you.
So I go out with my guy friends, and when we leave the place, I go, I can't believe, Bill and Jill are fighting. And they go, what? And then I say, I can't believe so-and-so, was upset about this. And I go, huh? What are you talking about? They have no clue what happened at all because they don't pay attention.
That is true. The one thing I get in trouble for, 90% of the time is, like, my wife will say, remember when we were talking about this? And I really honestly have no recollection.
No, you don't pay attention to anything.
No, I
so
really
we
don't.
Can't give you subtle hints because you're not going to take them. So that's why we have to bitch at you.
Right, okay. So let me give you, this is what I wanted. This is the best phone call ever. So let me tell you this, Kathy. How do you then handle that? Your reaction is, I'm going to nag him, I'm going to get louder and meaner, and then he'll listen, correct?
If I have to.
Right, but I mean, that's the next phase. Because
it's the only way for you to hear us. We pay attention, I think, to everything that's going on around us. I just think that's just how it is. I don't think you're trying to be assholes.
No.
I think it's just how it is. We pay more attention. So if you come home and you had a bad day, you don't have to say to us, I had a bad day.
Right.
We know you had a bad day. We pay attention.
And we wouldn't
anyway. You guys don't. So we have to say to you, I had a freaking bad day, shut up, or whatever.
It's so funny to hear this because I totally take it the other way. This is where the communication breakdown is between men and women, right here. This is a perfect example because literally we feel, us guys, when we meet at our lodges during the week, that we know we're going to go home after a long day, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to have to hear every story about some girl at work that pissed you off, or someone rolled their eyes at you, or someone had a nicer pair of shoes, and we're going to have to sit there and listen for 3 hours if you guys ramble on this complete non-coherent, boring crap that makes us literally, we don't care. We really just don't care. So I'm on behalf of all men, when you come home from a long day and you bitch about your day, we don't care.
Well,
we don't do that to you.
Sometimes we fake it, if you know what I mean. So why don't you fake it and pay attention? Act like you're paying attention.
We do a lot, but that's the way you fake it is by tuning out. You just go, yeah. So that's why when 2 days later, when you're like, hey, did you know? Remember when I told you about this? And then we go, no, because we weren't listening the first time. But it's a choice.
So this will never be fixed. This is just how it's always going to be.
Well, let's try and fix it. We got 17 minutes left.
I don't see how we can.
I think it's quite simple.
Unless you guys evolve the way we want you to, then it'll be perfect.
Right there, Jen. There's Kathy. You hear that? That's the problem. First of all, you got to stop viewing us like we're a project, or like things need to get better, or that we're stupid. That's the real heart of it. When I first did this very first show, that was the first thing I said before it went crazy a year ago. I said, I get the feminist movement and all this, but stop telling us men that we're stupid because we're getting pissed off about it. And we really, really are.
I don't say stupid. I say slower.
But again, I'm trying. So I respond by saying, look at all the stuff men have done through history. And I mean, I can drop that book anytime we want to go there. Men are not stupid. We're really not stupid. Every great invention, philosophy, art, men have been behind it. Men are bright. So we're starting to get kind of really pissed off. It's like, okay, you guys, because we tune out at your boring day talk that we really don't give a crap about, and you guys think that we're stupid and not listening. You don't think that maybe you should be more interesting when you talk about your day.
I don't think that's true because your lives would be easier if you listened to us.
Exactly. It's a vicious cycle.
Half the time we tell you to do something, you don't do it, then you do it and you act like it was your idea.
That's true. That's true. I do cop to that. Well, why does it always have to be a boss, employee relationship? Why can't you guys just literally just relax frickin' news a little bit and just go, hey, can you do the dishes? I'm tired. Why don't you just say it like that? Because here's the thing, I really want to get up to crazy little.
If you want to get laid, do the dishes.
You're doing the woman thing, Jen. You're doing the mind games. Like, I'm going to get in his mind, and I'm going to manipulate, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try this way, and maybe then he'll figure out to light candles. And we don't work that way. It's not because we're stupid. I'm going to give you women a little tip. Ready? I'm going to solve this right now. Men are smart. That's our problem. We are intelligent, which means when you use the English language, I said English, when you use the English language properly, such as, hey, Jack, can you wash that dish because I'm not going to do it. I'm tired and I want you to do it. I guarantee if you say it succinctly, use proper English, you don't play any mind games or emotion, no anger, no bad feelings, Just look him in the eye and say as literal as possible. I guarantee you he will listen.
Okay, but if you were really so smart, you would just wash the dishes without us having to tell you.
Well, see,
Exactly.
I figured that out. I do that. I do that.
Okay, well, there you go. You're ahead of the game.
But here's why. I had to be nagged, like I said, by older, fatter Jewish women for 30 years to figure that one out. And had somebody just told me, like you guys are telling me now, 20 years ago, hey, just do the dishes, dude. Like my buddy could pull me aside and say, here's the secret to marriage. Just go home, do the dishes, and she'll be nice to you.
There you go.
It would have happened. But see, no man knows that because none of them have had the trial by fire that I have had. None of them have. Most of them were stronger than me when they got the constant nagging. Most of them just shut off. I never shut off. I always wanted to be married. I always wanted to be in a healthy relationship. So I took it as notes from my sisters, like, I'm going to figure out how to be the perfect husband. That was a goal that I had as a kid. And on top of that, I had to put up with the most naggy people in the world for 30 years to figure it out. No other man is going to put up with that.
Well, I think that is true because I think men who have sisters are always better.
I think that's true. But just like women that have brothers are better. Like a woman that has a brother or sons will always tell you, guys just kind of like to rough up. They like to play around. Women that don't have brothers are like, men are stupid and competitive. But if you see a woman with a brother, she's kind of a tomboy at a certain point, and she gets the competition. And most women will tell you they'd rather be friends with men. You actually said that, Kathy, earlier today.
Yes, it is true. It is true.
So
it's
true.
Like
you women out there, this is a plea. Stop treating us like we're morons and animals and trying to find a way to manipulate us to come around. Literally, we're smart. Just talk to us directly.
Well,
Try
I'm trying, but it's not easy.
Only like sex objects, so and enjoying things like Carl's Jr. commercials, and I think that's why we're so desperate for the respect is that there's so many portrayals out there of slutty women that you guys love, and I don't want my boys growing up thinking that's a hot woman. I'd rather be like a Natalie Portman type.
Well, Natalie Portman is. What's Eli? Go ahead.
I just was going to mention that a difference between men and women is men are really aroused by the visual.
Yeah.
So if we see a really good-looking woman walk down the street, we'll probably be pitching a tent, but we're not going to have sex with her. We'll just be aroused. It's just having a penis.
Yeah, it's not stupid. It's actually really smart. But you got to think about it in nature. Our job as men in nature is to impregnate a woman, just like it's your job to have the baby. I mean, if you forget all the society stuff, just for our species to survive, the very most important element, for there to be humans in 50 years, this is what needs to happen. So we are wired to be attracted to a woman that looks like she's healthy and will give birth to a healthy baby that will help the species improve and live on. If you go around and you see a woman who's like 900 pounds, you think that woman doesn't take care of herself. I'm not so sure if she has a baby that the baby will make it. It's just nature. It makes a lot of sense when you take all your feelings aside and just look at like how the human race has to survive. Being attracted to an attractive woman, it's important because usually attractive people are healthier. That's just the sad case. I mean, that's not sad. It's beautiful, but that's how you guys take it. It's like, oh, it's society putting pressure on us and Barbie dolls and men are stupid. It's like, no, we don't want to have children with a 900-pound woman. She'll eat the baby.
Oh, my God.
But or she won't feed it. I mean, she's not going to feed it. If it rolls down the hill, she's not going to run down the hill and grab the baby. So it's like, it's the same thing for you. That's why you guys like the quote-unquote bad boy. And you always screw that. Every woman I know screwed that one up 1,000 times over because she doesn't understand, because she's an idiot, that every time she likes a bad boy, what she really wants is she wants a confident, strong alpha male, because that's her job in nature, is to find the strongest man to get her pregnant, so he'll take care and protect her and the baby.
Well,
it's
I think
simple.
young girls want that. I think
every woman wants that. They might be terrified of it, but every woman wants a strong, confident man. They're lying if they say otherwise. So younger girls, they don't know better. They don't have good male positive role models anymore. There's no good fathers pointing it out for her. Half the fathers are out of this country. They leave their daughters, so they don't know. So they see some guy in a leather jacket, you can tell I grew up in the 80s. Smoking, he looks like a bad boy, like Johnny Depp in the jail scene of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and she thinks, I bet he's a strong, confident alpha male. That's why they fall for it every time. The guy's a douchebag. He's a junkie douchebag. So it's the same wiring that makes you guys always go for the idiot. And there's so many guys like me, and I know Eli, and you can talk to a million guys, we call it the friend zone, that are nice, confident guys that are sweet, and you guys look right through us, and you constantly go to the douchebag. That's my high school years. I can tell you there's 1,000 men like that. So when you guys talk about the Carl's Jr. commercial saying, you're so stupid you want a woman in a bikini, we have the same problem. You want the bad boy who's an idiot, who treats you like crap. And you ignore any of us that have any sort of common sense or decency. What kind of mindfuck is that to us? The point here is both men and women are equally screwed up. We both are complicated and confused by our nature, and neither of us knows how to communicate to the other side. So the first thing you guys got to do is stop viewing us as stupid. We're visual. It's nature. It happens. It's beautiful. There's nothing weird about it. Try being literal. Know the animal you're with. Men are smart. We like English. We like the language. Use your words. I'm telling you it will happen. And then put out once in a while. And I want you to stay on, Kathy.
I do.
But we have another caller. Everyone stay on.
All right.
This caller here is withholding sex is the note I got. Caller, are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
You're withholding sex?
No. What I was saying was, withholding sex actually goes both ways. Guys can do the same thing to the girls. But what it comes down to, though, is doing stuff like that just tears down the relationship more than, it does more harm than good doing stuff like that.
I absolutely agree. You're saying the withholding sex is bad.
Yeah. Withholding anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be sex. I mean, it could be anything. But guys, you're right, though. Guys are more literal. If my girlfriend tells me something about the dishes, like, oh, there's a lot of dirty dishes in there.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to get up and wash them.
No.
But if she looks at me and says, hey, can you go wash the dishes?
What would you
do? I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to say, oh, okay, no problem.
Exactly. And I've watched
I'm going to try these things. I'm going to be
Try
direct.
it, Jen. I'm telling you.
I really am, and not be a dick about it either. Like, I'll be nice.
It's going to blow your mind. All the
but
women
I'm
listening.
pregnant. He does a lot extra right now, I will say.
Okay, and then that's the other thing. Not just be literal. Also, to all the women out there, notice what your man really does for you, too. Because we're literal, we keep score. And it's not manipulative. Like, we know everything we do. We may have selective hearing, but trust me, we know everything we do for you. We know every foot rub, every time we go down and get you a new glass of water while you're in bed. We keep tabs of it. And it's not even manipulative. It's just like we feel good about it because we love you and we think, oh, that was a nice thing. I'm telling you the truth. This is how it really is. That was a nice thing. So when you come up and you do this and you're sweating, and it's also, like Jen says, it's to get laid. Because you're going, if I do these 10 things, my wife will have sex with me, right? So you do all these things, and then you hear at the end of it, you need to do more. You don't do enough. Not even a thank you. Not even a notice. And then you guys go around and talk about how, oh, he's so stupid and doesn't do this. I'm telling you, I don't know how to make it any more clearer. I've been trying to do this show for over a year. Men are really getting frustrated, especially in America. I talk to a lot of men that deal with dating American women or being married to American women. There's a reason they're shipping women from Russia and China in boxes with air holes. It's getting out of control. You guys need to understand that your husband loves you, and just try being literal. Don't try and manipulate anymore. Just don't. Just stop it. You say that for your girlfriend.
I don't talk shit about my husband, though. I don't to my friends.
No, you don't.
Because he is a very hard worker. He is. And when my friend said her husband does dishes every night, I was like, are you kidding me? I can't do that to him. He works this many hours. I would love it. It would help him score, like I said, but it's nothing I expect of him. What
if you told him, Jen, when he got home and said, "Look, I know you're tired. I've had the boys all day. Can you do the dishes?" What do you think he would do?
He would do it.
Thank you. And huge problem, and every marriage just solved right there.
I'd have to ask every day, though. That's the thing. Like what Kathy was saying, it's like it would be a constant. I have to ask him every day.
Yeah, that's where you're going woman crazy again, because you're thinking, oh, I'll try Jake's new method of being literal, then I'll manipulate him to do it. No, even if you have to ask him every day, what's the big deal? We're literal. That's just how we are.
I said I'm going to try it.
So that means every day, or even say, how about this? Say, look, I'll take care of this. Like even draw a friggin' chart. Like Eli's wife has a list for him on the fridge. It used to make me mad, but now I think it's genius. Because he was so disgusting. That poor woman, what she puts up with. She actually wrote a list of, Eli, tell about the list, actually. This is the perfect thing.
Well, it was just, can you remind me, Jake, what it was?
Selective hearing. Oh, my God, I changed my stance. You women are right. Men are idiots.
See?
Eli can't do dishes. He barely can wipe his own butt, and his wife's getting sick of it, right? And she tells him, do this, do that, and she does her in her manipulative female way where she's trying to, get into his mind and twist it around. And finally, he says to her, which is where half I got this material. It was brilliant. He goes, look, I'm literal. Write it down. Just write it down. So she has a list, and I didn't know this. When I went to visit Eli, it was one of the first times I met Michal. I saw a list that she made for him that was like, Kathy hung up on us. Do a list, and it was like, take the dish here. And I got mad. I went to my friends, and I'm like, he's married to the biggest bitch in the world because she treats him like a child. She put on, and then I told Eli, I finally confronted him about it. I'm like, that's not cool. And he tells me, I asked her to do that. And now that I think back looking, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It totally makes sense because it's like a list is a very manly thing. It's I can look at it and see what I have to do right now, and then I cross it off.
I love
that. That's where our mind is. It's
okay. So list, and I'm gonna make sure I preface everything with Jake said that.
Yeah. Well, I'm knowing that Richie's a police officer, I would not do that. I don't want that guy messing with me. But no, just try it again.
I will. I am.
So
list,
I've given you
and
advice,
I'm gonna
Jen.
be direct.
Be literal. Give me and men advice because we've got 3.5 minutes left. Give us
All
advice.
right, and I need to burn your ass really quick too.
Oh, okay. So the rest of the show's yours. Go.
This is the advice I gave my husband recently because of having hormonal issues. If it sounds irrational, whether it be their time of the month or me being pregnant, if it sounds irrational and it doesn't make sense, it probably is. So trying to argue with that, like whether he leaves toys in the bathtub and I freak out on him when I get home, trying to argue with that is only going to escalate things. If it doesn't make you a pussy, if you just say, oh shit, babe, I'm sorry I did that, it's over. It's done, and then I end up feeling like a dick for going crazy on him.
That's brilliant advice. So you're basically saying don't engage with hormonal.
Don't engage. If it doesn't make sense, it probably isn't making sense either. Like once I start in that role, it is hard for me to backpedal. So, and, it really is hard to control. It's like a drug. Hormones are a drug, So if he tries to challenge me because I'm not the type of woman to back down, if he tries to challenge me when I'm on that role, it goes nowhere except up, so there's no point to argue.
That's true. I mean, I'll tell you real quick, my wife's crazy, and she's on birth control, and she's crazy about a week and a half out of the month. And when she's hormone time, I see it in her eyes, and I don't say a word. I'll bring her whatever she wants. I don't engage. I don't feel the need to make a point. So, yeah, men, I know we like to win. We're competitive, and an argument's sometimes it's kind of fun. Just walk away. It's a crazy person. It's a crazy person that has invaded the body of your wife.
He's literally said, I don't want to, in so many words, like I don't want to look like a pussy.
I can't back up.
If you were to say,
right.
I'm sorry,
it's not
babe.
a pussy. Yeah.
But I said, you know what? If it doesn't make sense, it's not that you're a pussy. You're just talking down a crazy person. And you use the word crazy more than I do. It's just irrational when you're hormonal. That hormonal. There's no rhyme or reason.
He's a police officer.
I really didn't want toys in the bathtub, but it didn't mean that I needed to freak out on him. Like, he was giving my kids a bath, our kids. That's what I should have been happy about.
Absolutely, like a police negotiator. They don't sit there and try and win the argument. They just say, whatever you need, man. You want a helicopter, you got a helicopter. Release the hostages. Okay, you got a minute,
right.
Jen.
All
did
right,
a top 10
minute. Let's see if I can do it. Top 10 reasons Jake Pentland wishes he was a woman. Number 10, because he could have the right to choose life or abortion, a right he'll never have as a man. Number 9, so he could wear a bra and no longer be teased for his movies. Number 8, he could blame his bitching, whining, and crying on his monthly lady time. Number 7, so he could have complete and control and access to a vagina 24/7.
That's true.
Number 6, he could get free wigs from Locks of Love for his alopecia. Number 5, he could do a radio show while tweeting and hanging in the chat room all at the same time.
Oh, don't pull that whatever crap.
Number
What's
4,
that called?
he could spell and pronounce words better, especially.
Oh, that's low.
Number 3, it's almost as low as it goes. It'll go lower. So he could wear the pants in the house and drive the better car. Number 2, he could take it in the ass from Rob Saul of Night Views on Gas House Radio, which is Tuesday nights at 7 p.m.,
Plugging
and
with
no
the plug.
longer be accused of being gay.
Love it. Last one, 10 seconds.
Last one. The number one reason Jake Pentland wishes he was a woman because his mom would love and accept him more and promote his show too.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. Well, we've gone over.
Sorry, I love
people...
Roseanne. I hope she knows that.
Well, it's too late now, Jen. The show's over. No one's listening to you. That was fucking awesome. God damn it, are you funnier than me too? That's not gonna work.
No, but that did
work.
come out in about 30 seconds. You're just easy.
Well, I can bring a lot out in 30 seconds too. I got one reason you want to be a man. Ready?
What's that?
Because we run everything. Thank you, everybody. That was awesome. What a fucking hot mess that was at the beginning, but
it sure was.
All right.
See, you need Jeff. You need
I know.
Anyone, so.
Well, they ditched me. They were drunk on Easter. What are you gonna do? Thanks a lot, Chief.
Are they together?
No.
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna call you on the regular line.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Bye.